everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a makeup artist video for you guys. As you guys know, I am a freelance makeup artist and a business owner. 2 thumbs up for that. And that was pretty corny, sorry. Forget I said that. I always get the questions and requests from you guys about doing videos that have to do like with my makeup kit. I recently got one about updating and showing you guys a video of my updated makeup kit, which I probably will do for you guys next week so you guys can have that. I will be going on vacation next weekend, so I do want to kind of do some videos so that I'll have everything set up for next week and the week after for videos for you guys. But anyway, so I do get a lot of questions and comments and requests about doing videos that have to do with freelancing and makeup artists. So today, I thought I would do a video on the makeup palettes that I have. The majority of what I do is bridal, and I think that that's of course what a lot of freelance is with weddings and if you're in the wedding industry. And it's very difficult to find palettes that are perfect for bridal because I feel like there's always palettes out there that go above and beyond, and there are a lot of palettes that you buy and it's like you don't use the majority of the shadows that are in the palette. And when you are a freelancer, you want to bring everything you possibly can, but at the same time you can't carry everything. So in my kit I have a few palettes that I bring with me all the time. These are my go-to holy grail bridal palettes, and so I have a Zucca bag. I also have a Zucca backpack that I have all my stuff in. I'll link down below for you guys as well all of my makeup artist videos. I've done a couple here on my channel, so you can go ahead and check those out. But for today I wanted to share with you guys the palettes that I carry with me. I feel like I've kind of skimmed over this in past videos and I never really went in depth with the palettes that I use on a day-to-day basis for my freelancing. So I thought this would be a pretty good video to do, so I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go right in to the palettes I have in my kit. Here we go. So the first one that's right on top, because it is the biggest, I do have the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette in my collection, and the reason why I have it is because I love, I mean, pretty much I will say the only colors that I don't really use obviously are these ones down here. I use every other color that is in this collection. As you can see, there are ones that I pretty much use more than others. But for the majority, I love this palette. I think it is my go-to palette when it comes to bridal as well as bridesmaids, because you can go ahead and use different lid shades, but use the same base colors for any kind of eyeshadow look, and it completely transforms the look that you're doing depending on the lid shade if you do different colors. So I love this palette. Like I said, I haven't really ever used the colors, and every time I take this palette out, everyone always asks, have you used those colors? And I have not. But yeah, I actually really do love this palette. I think it's a great palette for bridal, and like I said, I think I more so use this for bridesmaids, because bridesmaids you can kind of do anything with. You just want them to look very beautiful and classic. So yeah, I really do love this palette. So this is the Jaclyn Jaclyn Hill Morphe Brushes palette. Morphe Hill. The next palette that I have is actually kind of like a miscellaneous one. I can kind of go through, maybe I remember the colors that are in here, I really don't know. I just have a miscellaneous you know, amount of colors in here, from MAC colors to Makeup Geek. These two are by Stila. These ones up here are all MAC. This one over here is Anastasia Pink Champagne. These ones are all MAC as well. I don't even know what color this is because there's so much color on top of it. The ones you can see that I use obviously the most that I've hit pan on are Makeup Geek. No, this is MAC Blanc Type. This one is MAC Embark, MAC Saddle, and Anastasia Noir. I actually just put a new Makeup Geek Creme Brulee in here because I use that one very frequently as well. But these are the shadows that are always my go-to. When I set up my table, when I do a wedding, I always have this palette right on the side of my chair, because like I said, this has the main colors in it that I pretty much use on everybody, whether it is going in with Blanc Type as the brow bone highlight, or whether it's going in with a transition shade like Creme Brulee or Soft Brown by MAC. These are just the colors that I go to, and like I said, this is just the essential palette for me that I always have out whenever I start a look. And that palette, as you guys know, I'm sure you guys are very much aware, these are the palettes. They're magnetic. You can just go ahead and buy the eyeshadow pans and just put them in this palette. Very easy, very affordable, very convenient, and a really great idea, honestly, to go ahead and personalize your own makeup palette. Now the rest of the palettes in here are by brand. Oh my dear Lord, please don't break. So the rest of the palettes in my Zuka bag are actually ones that you can go ahead and purchase. They're by brand, so it's easy for you guys. So we'll start with this one. This is my go-to bridal palette. I love it so much. This is the Elcie Cosmetics Minimalist palette. They actually came out with the Minimalist and the Mauve colors, which I am so getting. I love mauve colors. But anyway, I love this palette so much. As you can see, I've hit pan on the Brow Bone highlight color, Blank Star, I believe that's what it's called. I also love using this brown, especially if you have a bride that doesn't want to go too smoky, but you want to have that little bit of smokiness to her look. I love using this brown because it's a lot softer than Mac and Bark and any of the other browns that I have in my collection. So I really do love this color. I love using this for transition and just to define a look a little bit more. I love the black as well. I love this. It's just a really great palette. It's just a really perfect essential palette. Like I said, the Minimalist, so it's just very minimal shadows, but these are the ones that you pretty much use all the time. So I really love this palette. One of my favorites. I definitely want to get the mauve one, like I said. The next palette that I absolutely love is the Lorac Pro Palette. This is the very first one, and as you can see, it has been very used, very abused. The mirror has been shattered, and I have hit pan on so many colors in this palette. I love this palette for people who don't wear a lot of makeup. I have a lot of people that come to me and they just want to be very soft, very minimal, not too much. So that's why you see that I have taupe, very used. Champagne is like pretty much completely gone because I love champagne as a lid color. Nude I use a lot, like bronze actually I think got shattered or broken. But I love all these colors. It's such an amazing palette. I love sable as a great transition shade as well. People who don't like black, I love using espresso, which is a really dark brown. I love this palette. This is always a palette that I request and I tell brides and people that are makeup artists, I should say. This is a palette that I tell all makeup artists that they so need in their collection if you're doing bridal, because it is just such a great universal palette. You can use it so many times. Like I said, I have hit pan on so many in here that I need to buy a new one because I absolutely love this palette. So definitely get the Pro palette. They have so many other Pro palettes by Lorac, as you guys know, so those are ones that I so love. This one is actually by Colourpop. You can actually go ahead and take the shadows out of it, which I probably will do if I get another Z palette. But I love this palette especially. This is the I Love Sarahii by Colourpop. I hope they still make this because I really do love this palette because I love the pink shadow in this. It is glittery, but it's shimmery, but it's not too glittery, and it's not too like in your face. I love it for so many clients. And like I said, this is like a really great palette because it has the brow bone highlight shade, has the crease shade, it has the definition brown, and then your lid color. So it's such a great palette to have for bridal, again, and bridesmaids because it's the 4 shadows that you need to complete any kind of eye look, and it's really beautiful. I do love this transition shade. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of like MAC Saddle. I pretty much wouldn't use it as like the main transition because I think it's a little too much for people in my professional opinion, like dealing with people who might not wear makeup on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of people are very scared of orangey based shadow, so that's why I use a lot of mauve as well. But I love that color. I love this palette. It's a really great palette. Like I said, I pretty much bought it because of that lid color, that pink, but the rest of the colors are so beautiful as well. I have this one also by Lorac. This is their Unzipped eye palette. I will say I love this palette. I think out of all the shadows and palettes that I have in my collection, this is the one I use the least, but I absolutely love it, and I've seen so many amazing bridal makeup looks with this palette. And actually, like looking at it right now, I don't know why I don't use this palette more. So for the upcoming weekend with the brides and the weddings that I have, I probably will be using this palette because it's so beautiful and the lid shades are so gorgeous. Oh, look at that color. Like, I don't know why I don't use this more often. I probably will now. I'm gonna use this palette more. So it's a really great palette. This is the Lorac, and it reminds me a lot of like mauve. So this is really great for people, like I said, who are scared of oranges and really warm tones. I'm just like, I don't know why I don't use that palette enough. The next 2 that I have are really essentials. This is the Tartelette palette, which is the one that is just complete matte shadows. As you can see, it has the browns and it has the mauves, it has purple. I have actually a lot of people that love purple. So this is the palette that I go to when people want to have a bit of a purpley kind of tone to their eyes. And then this one is the Tartelette in Bloom, as you guys see. Love this palette as well. I love mixing these two colors together to create like a kind of coppery bronzy lid color. And a lot of people that are blonde with blue eyes, I use this shadow on their lid to give like a gray look, and I'll mix it with a little bit of Stila Kitten. It's gorgeous. Everyone with blonde hair and blue eyes, try that look out with mixing those two shadows. You will die. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I love those two palettes as well. And the other two that I have in my collection are ones that I use so much. First, I'll go with the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia. If you don't have this in your kit, you are so missing out. I love this palette. It's gorgeous. As you can see, I've used the brow bone highlight so much in this palette. I love using the mauve. I love Primavera for a gold lid. I love Vermeer. I love Antique Bronze. Cypress Umber is like my favorite dark brown. It's so gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Another really great palette, so definitely get this in your collection for bridal. I really love this one, especially for people who aren't afraid to do something fun, to do something smoky. I think this is a really great palette. I have eyeshadow all over my fingers. Last but not least, the palette I wanted to save for last, because this is literally my most used palette. Besides like my Z palette, this one is the one that I use the most. I have this out on my stand every single wedding I do. I have it right next to my Z palette, and like I said, it's just the most used palette in my collection. It is the Persona Cosmetics Identity palette. As you can see, it is used and abused. Gold Digger, Maverick, by far my favorites. I also love Charming. As you can see, Humble is a really great brow bone highlight for people who are really medium to tan. Honestly, you can use it for any skin tone, but I love using it for people who are medium to really tan. Love this palette. It's one of my favorite, like I said, for bridal, but it also is one of my favorite for bridesmaids, because you can use Seductive, Goddess, you can use Bombshell, Gold Digger, you can mix them all up. I love mixing them up, like going with a little bit of, I dip my brush in like Gold Digger, Seductive, Goddess, boom, right on the lid, and it looks so beautiful. And it completely changes the eyeshadows, and it gives a completely different color to your lid, which is really beautiful. And so I love using this palette. Like I said, this is one that I use the heck out of. Again, Maverick is a really great brown to use for someone who doesn't want to be too smoky, because I feel like it gives like a little bit of like a really soft, it reminds me a little bit of like a cool tone brown, if that makes sense. It's not like a really dark brown like Fearless would be, but it's a really kind of soft brown, and I really love it. So that's why that one I've hit pan on Maverick. Really love this palette. If you guys don't have this in your kit for your brides, you're missing out. Definitely get it. It's so amazing. Persona Cosmetics. Alright guys, so that is it for what is in my makeup kit with my palettes. I hope this video was really informative for you guys. I know it was kind of short and sweet and very talkative, but these are the essential palettes that I use for all my brides and bridesmaids. So like I said, I hope it was informative for you guys to, you know, if you can get some of these palettes for yourself, and to kind of also like minimize the palettes that you have in your own makeup kit. So if you guys like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also let me know in the comments down below any other videos you guys would like to see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!